What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to T-Dog Customs and to another video, of course. So as you know, we are making some heavy progress. There is something that I'm super excited about, and I will make a specific video just on this, but it's the alternator. So for a P-pumped Cummins swap, there's no need for the ECU or computer. So you pretty much throw that away. However, your stock alternators run with the computer to charge. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be getting a 12 valve alternator off of a 12 valve Cummins, and then we're going to be taking the back part off and putting some parts on there that make it to a one-wire alternator, which means you don't need the computer. So I have the alternator ordered, and I have the parts. The alternator was $60, and the parts to do it I got off of eBay, and they were, I believe, $30 in parts. So if you buy a alternator that's already wired that way, it costs over $400. So yeah, the savings is huge, and it eliminates the need for the computer, and it's super easy, guys. I will make a video specifically on that though when it comes in the mail. It should be in later this week, and I can specifically do that for you guys, and I know that will be a huge help. Once we get the radiator in, then we can figure out and fans, then we can figure out how much room we have to slip a intercooler, hopefully somewhere back in here. So I'm hoping to snug up the radiator in this gap right here and have it pretty much pushed all the way against the grill, and then have the fans on top of that, the electric fans, and then maybe if we've got room to slide a 2-inch intercooler or something through there, then that would be absolutely perfect, and I would be absolutely thrilled to have an intercooler and not have to worry about an air to water intercooler. Springtime is right around the corner, so I went ahead and plugged my mini fridge in and loaded it up with some monsters. So we are ready for all the work that is about to take place in this garage, and it's so nice, for me at least, to be able to grab a monster or whatever beverage. Really like Bang Energy too, but a lot of my buddies like Monsters better, so I just keep it stocked up with that. But let's get on the road. Been at pick apart for an hour or so, and This is the only thing that I have found. It's a 31 tooth. I'm not sure if it's gonna fit, but I'm gonna get it and try it for the rear drive shaft. If this doesn't work, I'll figure something else out, maybe switch transfer cases, or go to a shop and actually have them figure out what transfer case I actually have and what slip yoke I need. So I came for quite a few things. I was going to get a radiator and a electric fans, but I decided that it would just make more sense to spend $200 and get a fan with a radiator already attached, and it would make the least it would help me make the most space for what I have. Just picked up the part from Pick Apart, and that was $20. So I'm gonna head home and then we'll see what happens from there, but I'm pretty sure I think it's going to fit, but the only thing I'm concerned with is the diameter around, maybe too small. But if this doesn't work, then I'll probably just go to a transmission shop and have them source the correct slip yoke. So we are going to take a little bit of time to just talk a little bit about the transfer case on the transmission, and I've been running into some issues, just really not understanding what transfer case I really had, and it was causing me a little bit of hesitation on how to put the rear drive shaft together, where to get the slip yoke, and stuff like that. Because let me just give you a little backstory. If you remember, when I picked up the transmission, it came with the transfer case, and they also gave me the drive shaft. However, when I went to hook the drive shaft up and start measuring for that, the slip yoke was way too small to actually fit over the shaft, the tail shaft. And so, you know, I looked at the numbers, but I didn't know on the transfer case what they meant. And I've just been too busy with, you know, the rest of the build to really worry about it. Well, it's time to figure that out. So I will show you. This right here is your normal, I don't know the exact part, like transfer case specifically, but I do know that this one was too small. So this one would not fit over, and I looked at my numbers, and my transfer case that was on my NV4500 transmission is a NP241 DHD. So it's the DHD, not the DLD, which I believe is the main difference. I believe this one is for the DLD, which is a smaller diameter, and the DHD is a much beefier setup, at least from the aspect of thickness. So that is what I have. I have the NP241 DHD, and that is why I was having more trouble finding the slip yoke. Apparently they're not as common as the DLD, and so yeah, that's pretty much it. But it's super simple to figure out what you have. I mean, there's a plate on the back of the transfer case that says exactly what you have. Mine was set at exactly and they have serial numbers back there and everything. And it was like a little tin plate back there. So yeah, that's what I have. I've got the MP241 DHD. So that is ordered. So within the next week or two, once that gets here, I should have the drive shaft complete. And then all that will be left, excuse me, is the fueling system on the Jeep, which is the fuel pump. So yeah, we're closing in very rapidly on it. And I'll tell you what, the weather, it looks like we're done with the snow. Fingers crossed for the year. And it looks like we're steadily getting warmer and warmer. And that is something I'm very looking forward to. For this part of the video, we are going to be setting valve lash on a 24 valve Cummins. So I don't remember all like the specifics off the top of my head, so I'm going to reference my phone. I have it saved. It will be a little different as far as if you are on your Dodge doing this, things will be a little tighter to reach. I currently don't have any injectors in, but for this step, because I don't have the on the harmonic balancer, I don't have the timing pins and or the timing indicator down there, and my P pump doesn't have any timing marks on that either. I set the P pump timing and I set the engine timing when I put this together. So the thing is timed up, but to make sure you're at top dead center, you can either go off of your harmonic balancer, and when both of your number one cylinders are loose, then that means you're at top dead center. If one is loose and the other one is not, you are not at top dead center. Or you can do what I'm about to do and show you, because this is probably the easiest way to do it for me and given my particular situation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my screwdriver right down. Alright, so now my screwdriver is touching the piston. I went ahead and pulled the front grill off. It took less than 5 minutes, so it'll just help with you guys seeing this. As I rotate this backwards, alright, so let me explain this. There is an amount of play in between when you are at top dead center on this number one cylinder. There's overlap. So both valves, all four valves, are closed, meaning that this is completely loose. Feel that? That is the exhaust manifold and the intake manifold. So those are indeed where we need to be at peak of top dead center. You'll notice when you come around to top dead center, the screwdriver will stop going up. It'll stop going up, and then as you turn, you will notice that nothing is happening, and then the screwdriver will start to drop. You'll take it back. You want it right in the middle of that no man's land, will you say? You know, you want it right in the middle of that. That is completely top dead center. A lot of people use micrometers. This is going to work for me because we are just adjusting the valve lash. So These are both loose. So now I'm going to reference my phone, and all right, so pay attention. Pay attention to this, because this is probably the part that you'll are most interested in, and it is at top dead center. You can adjust intake. So your intake are the short ones, and your exhaust are the longer ones. So on top dead center, you can adjust intake number 1, 2, and 4. So number 1 cylinder is the closest one to you. Number 1 cylinder is right here. And it looks like 1, 2, and 4. Okay, those are going to be the loose ones. So on the intake, it's 1, 2, and 4. Exhaust is 1, 3, and 5. So 1, 3. See, that's loose, and 5. That's loose. And then on bottom dead center, which is you rotate the engine 360 degrees, you would rotate it, and that is bottom dead center, and that is where you will adjust the other ones: intake 3, 5, and 6, and exhaust 2, 4, and 6. So that's pretty much it. The tolerances also is very helpful, so I'll show you this. So I'll read that. The intake is 0.25 millimeters or 0.010 inch. An exhaust is 0.660 millimeters or 0.026 inch. So there you have it. The valve clearance, I've heard several different things, but the one I'm doing is 10.010 and 0.012 or 0.020, and in millimeters, that is 0.508 millimeters and 0.254 millimeters. So for the intake, it's the 0.254 millimeters, and for the exhaust, it's 0.508 millimeters. This is a 14 millimeter for the nut and a 5 millimeter Allen key. So on this second valve here, the intake, what you're going to do is you're just going to pop this loose like that, and we want this tighter. It's very loose. We're going to go clockwise with it. So after you've got the valves adjusted on top dead center, which will be the ones I discussed. I'm not going to requote myself, but the ones we discussed earlier that you do at top dead center, once you've completed those, what I did is I wrote a line, drew a line, and then marked my timing cover right here with a Sharpie. And then what I'll do is I will rotate this 180 degrees all the way back, and that will be my bottom dead center, and that's where you will adjust the rest of the valves. So it's pretty simple. Just remember from where you are at right now, which is top dead center, bottom dead center is 360 degrees, and that is bottom dead center. So anyways, we're gonna go move this to bottom dead center and then do the rest of these. Here's your mark right here. We're coming around, and right there is bottom dead center. Okay, so a way you can tell, just so you know, yes, I am on bottom dead center, all the ones that you haven't adjusted should be loose. For example, 3, 5, and 6 of intake. So this one, loose. 3, 5, this one, loose. This one, 6, loose. And then for exhaust is 2, 4, and 6. So this one, loose. 4, this one, and then 6. So that is how you know you are at correct bottom dead center. So now you're just going to repeat that process you did for when you were at top dead center. Once you do that, you are completely, valves are set and lashed to the correct tolerances, and you guys can go ahead. You will need to torque them down. There is specific torque specs on that. I'll let you look that up. That's easy to find, but you will want to torque those down. Then you'll be ready to rip and roll, rock and roll, whatever you want to do. Folks, that right there is how you will set your valve lash. Depending on your particular application, on valves and how tuned you are, that may vary, but if you are looking for stock, you know, your stock specs, that's pretty much how you'll do it. Everything's looking good. We should be getting some huge progress later this week. Effective today, the only thing I need now is a fuel pump to get this thing running, and that is it. So I will catch you guys later in the next video. Trust me, the upcoming videos you do not want to miss, because we're going to cover a lot of practical things that are just crucial to getting this thing running. So as always, keep grinding, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.